Welcome back to Crown's Crypto Cave, speaking to you from the first day of 2019. Welcome to 2019. I am from the future. If you're from the past, if you're still in 2018, well, here it is, January 1st, 2019. Fucking welcome, baby. Good to have you in here. Good to welcome you in here, and good to see you in good old 2019. And as always, wishing you the best of the best, the happiest always over here from Helsinki, Finland. Let's get into the live scene right now, right here, right now. And Bitcoin actually taking a little bit of a tumble in the early night hours from last night, as everyone was kind of getting ready, prepared to have a night out. Bitcoin was doing a little bit of a red dildo party, although you can see on the daily right over here, volume for this whole move over here is pretty, or sorry, well, for this last move is pretty lackluster. It doesn't really point out anything. Now, there are a few things going on from our lower time frames for sure. We'll get to that in just a second. But overall, I do want to mention that this whole pattern right here, the whole volume signature of this is very corrective, very corrective. So that's also why I just do not believe that the bottom is in. Believe that Bitcoin will be headed lower, but again, that's probably going to take a lot of time. It's a month or two or three or whatever it ends up being. I think that Bitcoin's going to spend a lot of time going, oscillating between the low 3,000s and 4,000. Now, we do see the red 10-symbol moving average getting dangerously close once again to the yellow 20-minute exponential moving average. Bitcoin did get rejected from it. Bitcoin is respecting it. That tells me that the bots and the algorithms are on the sell side. They are respecting this. And as always, the first cross after a long downtrend move, is typically going to be a false one. So while it's not necessarily fully confirmed just yet, if Bitcoin did pop back up and test the yellow 20-minute exponential moving average, that would not, it would not really put anything out of order. But as long as essentially Bitcoin is below that, yes, I am looking down. We also have the blue 30-simple moving average, which is the one that I care the most about when it comes to slope analysis, and that guy has also started to he's flattened out right over here on that on that last up move, and now once again sloped downwards. So that is telling me that more immediately the pressure is mounting, and it is more and more likely that this thing actually does start coming down to those lower 3,000s once again. In the lower time frames, we spoke about this yesterday as things to be more appropriately be aware of. This 3,700 support was broken last night. Now is being tested as resistance. Also the yellow 21 exponential moving average on the hourly dildo time frame, and so far it looks like it is holding as resistance, I should say. And with that said, I mean, you're just basically what you've gotten. Maybe we go to like an 8-hour more readily available scene. Yeah, there we go, taking everything off right over here. Just another lower high, in this nice little trending formation right over here. So again, the way that I look at this is the direction is down, as we spoke about yesterday. Looking at all of the clues yesterday, now we're just seeing them play out, or we did see them play out in the last 10 or so hours, whatever it might be. Higher time frames, so stochastics are still pointing downwards as well. We got the daily right over here, with plenty of room to go to the downside. We'll be getting into the bearish control zone on the next tick, it looks like. What about 12-hour? 12-hour just gave you a fresh cross to the downside as well, getting rejected from getting out of the bearish zone, by the way. 8-hour over here, 8-hour, same sort of thing. And if we go down to the very low ones, we're probably going to get some upticks. Yeah, so the 2-hour actually is pointed up right now. What about the hourly? Yeah, hourly is pointed up as well. So interestingly enough, the higher time frames are disagreeing with the lower time frames, but that, as always, when it comes to actual, direction and whatnot, higher time frames will rule the world, while the lower time frames just kind of take over during consolidation area periods. Yesterday, I believe I showed my position on my streamer account as basically just being short. I'd uncovered my short. I got rid of my hedge long at like a little bit above, 3,800, and now I'm just riding short once again. That's really all I really care to be doing right now. And I will be essentially short delta, as long as we are respecting this guy as resistance. So 37, I guess it's more appropriately 37.13 on BitMexico. As long as we're below there, yep, I will be holding on to this position. This right here does look like some sort of a nice little flag coming off this red dildo dump. Again, in the overall context of the higher time frames, this is not like a big dump or anything like that, but it does start to slowly ebb and chip away, and start to put the puzzle pieces in place for that move down to our prior lows. Now, again, while I am overall bearish, while I do think that Bitcoin's going to be making some lower lows, it's one of those things where it's probably going to take some time, and I do believe we're probably going to get something similar to what we got at 6,000, right? 6,000 meaning the area where Bitcoin essentially spent about a year going just basically bouncing off of each and every time. Now, I don't think that it's going to take a year to break 3,000, but I think that you're going to get something similar to this, where you're going to spend some time, where all of the perma bulls get bullish no matter what, but they get really bullish and like arrogantly bullish on crypto Twitter when Bitcoin gets, above here, even though you still have not gotten any, higher highs or anything like that. In the most basic of basic, you don't need to be a fucking technical analyst doing this for years and years and years and years and years to understand what a higher high or lower low is. So again, it's one of those things, man. It's like, where the fuck do these people come from? Well, again, if you have crypto in your name on Twitter, you are professional. Kind of. Anyways, overall, the way that I look at this right over here, yeah, it is kind of setting up for a move. Is setting up for move likely to the downside. I do want to check out the DMX the DMX, like rough, that guy. The DMI and ADX, what I'm looking for right over here. Almost giving you a signal yesterday on the short side. In fact, you could consider this a signal, although I would not take it. I'm curious if the 2 hour gave us one. Yeah, it did. I think we spoke about this one yesterday. This was actually giving you an active signal yesterday. But our higher time frames are actually saying that a big move is likely coming pretty soon. This is your 12 hour right over here. We are getting dangerously close to zero on the ADX. So as our DMI minus does crawl above the DMI plus, well, that is starting to look a little bit more tasty. So overall, looking at this guy right over here, yeah, you do have your 12 hour already giving the signal for the red 10 symbol getting below the yellow 20-minute exponential. But again, remember, it's from a higher time frame perspective, I am comfortable. From a higher time frame perspective, I'm very, very comfortable being short as long as we're below this 21 exponential right over here. We are below all major, well, not all major moving averages. We're not below the 30 simple moving average right over here. But again, I care about this one for slope, not necessarily like as an actual support or resistance. Although it is respecting it right now. To be fair, it is actually respecting it. So fair enough. Anyways, when it comes down to it, we're just kind of seeing the things that we spoke about yesterday play out, just kind of going over that and talking about why it's likely to continue. I'm going to imagine that the hourly is probably, we got the death cross right over here. So nice to see fall through on that as long as we're below the 21, still kind of playing that to the short side. What about the 3 hour over here? 3 hour, yep, same sort of, we never even got, well, no, it was right over here, huh? What about the 2 hour? 2 hours was the one most recent, or sorry, it has not happened yet. In fact, the 2 hour is quite interesting to me right here. The 2 hour might be giving you a full-on signal very, 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 very soon. We will be getting another 2 hour dildo in the next 19 minutes and 22 seconds, as you see ticking down right here, right now. The green 55 exponential getting ever so close to the purple 200 exponential. Funnily enough, the 1 hour and the 3 hour were death crossing every other time frame as well on the higher side above that, but the 2 hour was not. So sometimes you will get that. And once everything's kind of, has good confluence with each other, once everything's on the same page, that's when moves typically do happen. So overall, I do have that on my radar right over here, because that could certainly give the impetus for an actual break of the next support area that we're looking at. So going to our BitMexican chart right over here, I think we already spoke about this, but again, from a lower time frame perspective, as opposed to a higher time frame perspective, as long as we're respecting this guy right here as resistance, I want to be short. I want to be holding a short. I'd cover if we probably went up above. But support right around here, 36.30. That's not an important one. The important one is this guy right over here, 35.80. I believe that I don't think I have it on right now, but that will be a fib. I can tell you it will be a fib because I've done this a million fucking times now. But here we go. Again, right over here is. There we go. There you go. So yeah, your 618 coming in right around here. Again, close enough is close enough. That's the golden pocket. A lot of bots and algorithms will just, buy that just out of respect, because they respect it so much. They call it after dinner and they say, you know what, 618, I love you. To a fucking inanimate object. So silly. Anyways, overall, as long as you're above this area right here, people are still going to be making the arguments for inverted head and shoulders. It's not. I don't want to go through the whole fucking reason why it's not inverted head and shoulders. I know people are going to fight me on this. You have the wrong shape, you have the wrong volume, you have the wrong fucking, you don't even have the fucking neckline in. So that's also an issue. And I would be, if you're calling it inverted head and shoulders, I'm curious to see. Never mind. I'll just leave it at that. Just we'll agree to disagree. You know what? And if it breaks above this area right over here, well, you know what? I'll be happy to get long. But until that happens, I don't give a fuck about any sort of Never mind. Oh my god, man. I just I just can't. I fucking hate that I even said that. But yeah, overall, we could actually move this down a little bit. Yeah, right around there. And then I'll kind of work for me. Same sort of thing. Now, if you do break this area right over here, yes, I do have support at 34. It's actually really like 34.50. Yeah, for 34.50 right over here. But really, the next big area that I'd be looking towards is really, in the 33.50 to 32.50, muddy territory down around here. So that's what I'm essentially looking for. But there will be supports along the way. And as always, with technical analysis, you can't tell price action what it's going to do. Bitcoin actually selling down a little bit from that resistance. There you go. Give it a rejection. And there you go. Sometimes technical analysis, man. Sometimes it actually fucking works. Creating some sort of a bear flaggy-ish formation right here. But again, just as I gave the inverted head and shoulders ears a bit of shit over there. Well, if you're going to be playing patterns, you got to wait until it's actually confirmed. So if you did want to draw this guy in, you'd want to see this lower support trend line get broken first before calling it all said and done. Anyways, okay, so what were we just talking about before I got distracted by myself so sillily? Again, if the 618 fails right over here, it greatly increases the chances that you get back to, the 3250, 3300 area right over here, which I'm referring to as the mud. Now, while I am overall bearish, I don't believe it's appropriate to be having like full on positional shorts, until really this area breaks down around here. And I know that's not too helpful, but that's what trading is. I'd want to see some lower lows on this guy. It'd probably be completely fine to make that position and put on the position, or at least a half position. At least for myself, I'd be comfortable with doing it if Bitcoin broke this area right here, 3250. If it did that, I'd probably put on a half position. But if you want to go by the book, then it would be breaking this area right over here, 3180. I mean, I guess that gives you like a $50 buffer zone between that and your prior low, and then obviously full position below the prior low. If that were to happen, the next area that I really start looking towards is actually the 23. Yeah, the 2300 to 2600 area right over here. This next blue box territory, that's also the 886 Fibonacci retracement. That's also the 886 is actually where you did bottom out in 2014. You also have some good historical horizontal trend lines coming in right around there, and some good volume profile action as well. The penis accretion, or the POC, coming in right in over here, and actually a bigger, higher volume node than what you did at 6,000. So imagine the powerful bounces of 6,000, all that muddy territory, all that nasty, gnarly stuff over the course of about a year. Well, technically speaking, you have even more at the 2300 level, so keep that in mind. I do want to put on the 200, the red 200 simple moving average. You could actually, I think it would actually be a little bit more appropriate to make decisions based off this. Hey, what are you doing? There you go. There he is. Okay, so the red 200 simple represented right over here. It is rising a little bit. It is currently at 3230-ish area. Did I just make like a farting noise with my mouth? Nobody knows. But you know what? You'll never know, because I'll just edit it out. Nope, just kidding. I don't know how to fucking edit. I don't know. I actually don't know how to edit. Even though some people have like so nicely told me about editing software, I just it's like there's too many things to do in the fucking day, man. It's too many. Maybe at some point I'll probably just hire someone. But for now, I think it's kind of good to not edit anything, because then it keeps it real, like I fuck up, man. I fuck up and I say the wrong shit here and there, and here and there. That's very lofty expectations all the fucking time, really. So to not have editing, well, I think it adds a sense of realism, but maybe people hate that. I don't know. Anyways, the 200 simple moving average right over here, that could also be a decision factor as well. In fact, that would be the more appropriate decision factor on my end if Bitcoin were to actually break that on a weekly dildo closing basis. Then yes, the next area that I'm looking for becomes, rapidly, not just more likely, but abundantly more likely. Again, speaking on that 2300 to 2600 area right over here. Whoa, everything's just floating around. So I do like how the 200 simple is starting to crawl its way up into this area, and likely to align around that 3250 area relatively soon. So that's probably going to be it. As it stands right now, again, I've been saying this for a long time. People talking about going to 5,000, 6,000, or anywhere really even above, mid 4,000s. It's very inappropriate to be speaking about until Bitcoin both opens and closes a weekly dildo above this purple 200 exponential moving average right over here. I can have an opinion that that's unlikely to happen, but just as far as trading goes, I don't have to have an opinion to make fucking money on this one. Just have to wait until that actually happens, and then I would be looking for a move probably around around 5,000 or something like that, if that were to happen. But again, I am pretty fucking bearish as long as Bitcoin is both opening and closing weekly dildos below this 200 exponential moving average right over here. Again, another thing is like, everyone wants to be Mr. Bottom Catcher. Everyone wants to fucking catch that red dildo, but no one wants to hodl it because you're going to get fucking wrecked. So again, it's just one of those weird things with I mean, this is true for any trading asset, but it's like even more in your face in cryptocurrency land, because it's just like, a cult like mentality on Twitter and Reddit and fucking TradingView of everyone wanting to catch the fucking knife, which is like that is usually a very good indication that this person's probably not a career trader or anything like that. Maybe they are, maybe they just know the fucking secret formula, and you're the first person that I've ever met to know that. But for the most part, I've seen way many people go broke trying to buy the bottom than people trying to just buy an uptrend or sell a downtrend. That's it's when it comes to actually putting in a bottom, it's going to essentially be up to just one person with extremely deep pockets. Now, of course, it can't be more, but essentially what's going to happen is someone with extremely deep pockets is going to come into the market and just say, you know what, this price is good enough for me, fuck everyone else, and just buy it all the way up. You're not even going to have a chance to actually buy the actual low. The actual low, you're not going to have a chance to buy it, and it's probably a bad indication if you actually do buy something on it, like actually being a low, unless if it like rallies up 10% in the next couple hours. There you go. Okay, so anyways, I'll try to refrain from talking about like super long-term ideas in this video. I want to focus on more readily available ideas. So I think that kind of covers it for Bitcoin, most likely. I'm curious what the Trollinger Band say over here. Is our lower Trollinger Band is actually crawling its way down. I'm going to imagine on the next weekly dildo tick, it's probably going to crawl its way down all the way to like 2,600, which would be the top of that blue box territory, right? Yeah, right over here. You can see that it's actually kind of rounding out this diagonal trend line right over here. So, if and when Bitcoin does break this area, yes, I do start looking down towards around here. But again, I think it's going to take some time. I think it's going to take a lot of time, actually. So yeah, by the way, just as an aside, the 200 exponential moving average was actually lined up with the 786. I mean, we've had this in there for fucking, literally like 4, 6, 8 months, whatever it's been since I started streaming essentially. But I think it's interesting, that Bitcoin keeps on getting rejected at that. So if the bots are selling the 786, they're probably going to be buying, probably the 886, but that could imply actually the 942 right over here. If they really are aggressively defending the 786, that would make sense. The 942 down around there. Again, I'll never say that Bitcoin is definitely going down to like the 1100, the 1300 area right over here. That's not the way that I do technical analysis. I see a couple like very obvious and clear potential reversal points before that, so I'd have to respect those until told otherwise. And that's what technical analysis is. It's responding to what price action is telling you, not fucking telling price action what you want to do. And I see a lot of people get this wrong. They think that like technical analysis overrides the market. No, the market is never wrong. Understand that the market is never wrong. It's one of the things that my mentor really fucking instilled in my brain all the time. The market is never wrong. I don't care what what X, Y, and Z says on your chart over here. It does not matter. If the market tells you that it's not working, it's not fucking working. Find something that is working. And that's really all it comes down to. And people really don't like that about technical analysis, but that's the truth. That's the fucking truth. It's not black and white. There are various shades of gray in this, and also all sorts of BDSM and, like hentai and bullshit like that. So Bitcoin probably about to get hentai pretty damn soon anyways, which will be really, really fun. But again, that's an opinion. Bitcoin would prove me wrong. I was going to say above 37.11. That's not, or above 37.13 if it can close like a 2-hour dildo above there, but that's not really changing anything from the higher time frame perspective. It needs to get back above 38.50 to change something from a higher time frame perspective to me. So and no, that's not even true either. I mean, that would be like from a 4-hour perspective. If it could get above its last prior high, that would be a good do. Above 42.50 or whatever it was. That would be interesting. Right here, right now. This is sloppy action right here. When you see the rolling hills of price action, when you see like the rolling fucking, the M's, the M is for murder, and the rolling hills, they will fucking roll on over you. Unless if you're short, then they'll be washing over like a wave of profits on your account. Anyways, wow, how much dumb shit can I say in one stream? Nobody knows. Anyways, I do want to check out the RSI and some of our other oscillators really, really quick. Let's see, what do we got on over here? All right, we'll start with the 4-hour. 4-hour trending in the bearish control zone below the exponential over there. So again, telling us that pressure's down. 4-hour actually also did break, or no, sorry, it is not broken. It is not broken the 200 simple moving average right over here. It actually reclaimed it on the last 4-hour dildo. Very, very low volume to begin with. Could this one turn into rejection? It very well could, but we'll have to say stay tuned until next time. Let's see. Jewel over here did actually give you oh man, the Jewel gave you a perfect sell signal on this up right over here. Fucking yeah, man. And also DMI getting it a little bit as well, but not a full-on. It was a signal, but it's not having the follow through that I'm really looking for. So I'm not a huge fan of that on that move. What about the 8-hour right over here? 8-hour. The Jewel is actually about to give you a fresh. The Jewel is going to give you a fresh signal pretty damn soon. DMI just turned, it's giving you confirmation of the confirmation. Then the yellow 20-minute exponential and the green 55 exponential are about to cross, or very, very likely to cross, as long as Bitcoin is beheld in below 3,700. So again, building the case for more lows, or sorry, not more lows, but more down incoming. It is starting to mount up. Again, I don't really, you can take out this area, you can take out this area. It's not really until you take out this area where things start to get a little bit more interesting to the upside. Doesn't mean it can't happen. It's just, when kind of putting the cases together, just like we did yesterday, there's certainly a lot more things on the downside. I think the next big thing for me is going to be coming on the daily. Once you see the daily red 10 simple moving average, sorry, it's not even on there right now, but the red 10 simple moving average and the yellow 20-minute exponential moving average cross to the downside, alongside this guy still being sloped to the downside, we're probably going to get that move. And again, it's it can take some time, but overall, I'd be looking for Bitcoin to come back to the muddy territory at the low 3,000s. So that's what I'm looking for right over there. Let's go check out CMEs. They should be open right now. I believe that they're not. Today is a full-on holiday, so I might do a live stream later. I might not. If there's no price action, I don't really see. It's just going to kind of be boring. I might just go out and treat Elsa to a nice dinner instead. But overall, the CMEs did close again below the 20-minute exponential moving average right over here. To me, this is did break yesterday on yesterday's daily dildo close, the red 10 simple moving average. So again, the way that I look at this is likely to have some more follow through to the downside. People are going to tell you that this is your right shoulder right here, and you're just going to pop back up and make a neckline. Maybe it does happen, maybe it doesn't. But overall, I would not play that before it actually happens. So until told otherwise, until proven otherwise, I would be very, 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 very careful with that. If we do put on the inverted, I should actually do a counterpoint to what I'm saying though. The inverted chart does look like a head and shoulders. This actually does. To be fair, it actually does. But the regular charts, it has the wrong posturing of it, has the wrong volume pictures of it, and overall, I could make the argument for this being on the regular charts, I can make the argument for this being a descending broadening wedge, which is actually typically a bullishly resolved pattern. But an inverted head and shoulders, not so much. Now the problem with the problem with you even breaking this guy out is, first, you're in a bearish trend. So I hate playing bullish things in a bearish market, and I hate playing bearish things in a bullish market. It goes both ways. You have to be able to swing both ways, just like fucking swingers. But you'll have resistance right over here, 4,300, kind of your prior high. Then you got this guy right over here, 4,550. Then you got this guy. Well, this is gonna be like a zone, right? Then you got your 100 exponential right over here at 4,750, and then yeah, you can talk about 5,200 right over here. But again, it's one of those things, like, people just they just read a page on Investopedia and then think that that's how it works every fucking time. If that worked, everyone who did that would be a millionaire, and they're not. They're posting on crypto Twitter and TradingView, and I just said this sounds a little bit what's it called, hypocritical, because I'm making videos on YouTube. I don't have to make these videos. That's why I verify myself with my actual trades. Again, I'm still actually holding this short from 6,300. I've just been taking profit on it, here and there, by taking longs on spot and then closing those when I feel like the move is probably exhausted. So yeah, if this actually does work as a descending broadening wedge, which actually is a pattern that I think plays out pretty damn well for Bitcoin. And the measure move on this guy would actually be pointing you to about 5,000 if that were to get hit. Now, again, doesn't mean the measure move is always going to be hit one-to-one, especially when you're doing a counter, market cycle move. I would argue that is probably very unlikely very unlikely to happen. But hey, I should present the other side because that's what good technical analysis should do. Overall, though, this ascending broadening wedge like could it could maintain its posturing and still make another stab at your bottom support trend line down around here, which would be leading you towards that 2600 to 2300 zone, relatively soon actually. So again, do keep that in mind. Just because it might be a more bullishly resolved pattern when it comes to statistics doesn't mean it's always going to be one, and doesn't mean it's going to happen like right here, right fucking now. So I'm just going to take a sip of this water because I'm damn thirsty. Fuck, I'm out. Oh my god. All right, well, whatever. We can survive this one. So GBTC over here did close the day down a little bit, or maybe not a little bit, a lot of it, actually returning to its prior lows, a rejection of the red 10 simple moving average. This is now interesting to me. I really wanted to see GBTC rally off these lows and like not really look back so that I could, start filling this area out. Overall, it's, it still obviously has not broken it, and I need to see like a full-on break to be, a full-on break of this area to be, bearish, looking for new lows, like, when it comes to timing of a trade. But to get rejected from this area right over here, still closing below the 10 simple, I mean, that's not good. It's not fucking good, man. So that is something to be aware of over here. Keep your eyes on GBTC. It won't be open today because today is closed. But tomorrow, when it opens, if it opens below $3.88, very fucking bad. If it even ticks below $3.76, that's. We'll talk about it when it gets, if and when it gets there, but that would be extremely bad. By the way, I should mention, CME did close yesterday at 3650, so there will be a magnet at 3650, kind of leading Bitcoin down there when it opens up. I believe it opens up later tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I could be wrong on that timing though. But I believe it's 6 p.m. Eastern time for CMEs right over here. By the way, CME is also a rejection of the yellow 21 and also below the 10 symbol. I think we already talked about that. Resting on this support right over here, 3,600 even, but don't like the fact that it's even come back down here. So keep your eyes on that one as well. If you do take out 35.50 on CMEs, this one's a lot easier to read actually. CMEs are incredibly easier to read compared to spot. If you do take out 35.50, extremely likely that you take another stab down towards your prior lows in this range right over here between about 32.50 and 31.50ish area. So again, that's also kind of another big signal that I'd be looking for. All right, so we talked enough about that. Let's go talk about SPYs over here. Good old SPYs. Yeah, SPY actually closing the day up. Again, this is what I'm talking about, coming into the new year. While I am looking for lower lows on SPYs, in traditional markets, either later this month or February, or at least coming back to the prior lows. Right now, I do not want to be short. In fact, you're rallying off this support trend line right over here, taking it out. So yes, I do believe you're very, very likely to at least get to about 254.5. But if this thing gets anywhere back to about 260ish area, that's going to be the obvious thing. Weekly does have a very nasty exponential moving average cross right over here. At some point, this price action is going to rally now to kind of like test it and see if it really wants to play out. It looks to me like it wants to play out. I'll put it that way. But again, same thing as Bitcoin, having a reaction off the 200 simple moving average. But unlike Bitcoin, SPY has had a much better reaction because it closed also above the 200 exponential moving average. Bitcoin stuck between those two moving averages right now. So again, more pressure down on Bitcoin in comparison to this. But yes, both of them I am bearish on, on a more medium term outlook. Now, if once we get this new monthly tick tomorrow, a test anywhere in this range right over here to about 262, anywhere in that range is good enough. I'd be looking for shorts around there. And yes, I am looking for this thing to come down, somewhere down around here to like 210, 220ish area, sometime like this year. Again, timing these things is fucking difficult. I don't think that it can really be done, but it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen this month. I don't think it's gonna even happen in February, maybe March, maybe April, something like that. But down around here would kind of make sense. And if things get really bad, I mean down around here, 185. But again, we'll one thing at a time, and there are supports along the way. You got to first things first, break your prior low. But we have closed our first monthly dildo below the yellow 20-minute exponential for the first time in 3 years. And yeah, that's a pretty fucking big deal. So again, that's what I'm looking for right over there. Now, if we can both open and close our first monthly dildo below this guy, that's going to be the next big piece of the puzzle. So again, Yeah. Overall, Bitcoin does have a new monthly tick as well. I should have mentioned this. I did forget about this, but Bitcoin actually did hold above, or did it hold above? So we closed, yeah, it did hold above the green 55 exponential moving average right over here, creating a nice hammer dildo on heavy volume, but not above the volume moving average. But when you actually kind of zoom it out a little bit, it's okay, kind of. But again, I don't believe, again, if you're going to be playing, dildo formations, I need to see continuation on this in like heavy volume and relatively immediately. So that would mean that would imply taking out the high of this at 42.65 very, very soon. If that does happen, then yes, I'd also become bullish or sorry, like short-term bullish if that would happen. Maybe like 4,600, 49, and then 5,000 after that would be very much on the table. But does need to happen, relatively soon. I believe that we do have if we put on the 10 symbol, that should be crossing the 21 now. Nope, it's not quite crossing it just yet. But also just pointing to another thing, if we go over here to the BLX index, the 100 exponential moving average, the cyan line right over here, also coming in around that 2,300 level. So a lot of things lining up with that level, just by the way. So yeah, okay, all right. Starting to lose my voice. I'm starting to get really, really thirsty. So we'll cover some altcoins really, really soon, or sorry, right now, really, really soon, right fucking now. How about that? We got Mr. Ripples over here. Mr. Ripples last weekly was a pretty nasty rejection of all major moving averages right over here. The second that we take out 32.5 cents is the second that I become immediately bearish. And also you can kind of see it on the daily right over here. You got this rolling over price action. You're below the 21 once again. You reject from the red and from the red 10 symbol in the yellow 21 exponential right over here. As long as you're respecting this guy as resistance, I play to the downside. 3-day was the big tell. 3-day was that massive rejection right over here. 3-day dildo death cross right over here. Again, that to me is pretty, is pretty nasty. And again, for Bitcoin from a higher time frame perspective as well, I should have mentioned this. As long as Bitcoin's below the 3-day 21 exponential moving average right over here, I am playing. I would be cognizant of the death cross still being played out. Yes, we have caught wind of the red 10 simple moving average right over here, but again, feels to me like we have a little bit of pressure down. But hey, I've spoken about what I'd need to see for me to kind of let go of a little bit of that. So, okay, so that's Mr. Ripples. So yeah, as long as Ripples is below the 21 on the 3-day, I would be playing it to the downside. I'm gonna guess that Mr. Beatles, same fucking thing. If people I think people are starting to get it that everything looks the same. But same thing right over here. 3-day dildo death cross, boom, big down, coming back up to test the 21 exponential moving average after a little bit of nope, you didn't even get bullish divergence on your 3-day. And as long as we're respecting this guy's resistance, I'd be looking for this to probably be sold into. Mr. Buterol does have a fork coming up, but that's more of an upgrade, not free coins. So once people figure that out, well, fair enough. There you go. Overall, though, if Buterol could get above this area, then there's actually not much stopping it from like the 180 to 190 area right over here. So there, I always want to be talking about counterpoints. I can, just because I'm seeing these things does not mean it's 100% going to play out. Need to be aware of the triggering factor that would tell me that I'm going to be wrong on these ideas. So for Mr. Ripples, again, the 21 being taken out, well, very likely make your way back up to this range right over here around 44.5 cents. By the same token, just go over Bitcoin one more time again. Let's go over this guy and right over here. Lower time frames. I want to see 37.11 being closed above on an hourly dildo closing basis. Daily though, I want to see I want to see Bitcoin get back above and close above the red 10 simple moving average, and really just create a higher high. I mean, if you could get above 4,100 and close above there, that would be okay. But above this area right over here, that would be immediately interesting to me. Again, then you'd start to play out the descending broadening wedge. So again, you can see ways forwards for the bulls, but I'd say that there's more balls in the court of the bears, and I am bearish myself right now. Again, not necessarily looking for lower lows, but to return to prior lows most likely. Okay, got that. I guess we can talk just very briefly about why Bitcoin is not bottomed. Again, the three things that I'm looking for, the three things that I'm looking forward to be demonstrative of the bear market being over. I need to see a higher high on the daily. That would be a good fucking start because you haven't had one in the last, over a year right over here. So go with the former trend until until it tells you otherwise. The second thing I'll be looking for is the weekly, again, as we spoke about before, to both open and close above the 200 exponential moving average right over there. If that happened, I'd drastically change my tune on Bitcoin in general. But as you can see, it's proven to be quite the bitch so far. And third and final, and most importantly, would be a daily dollar closing above the 6,000 breakdown zone right over here. So the zone that Bitcoin essentially spent about a year going sideways upon. Well, if Bitcoin can get back above there, close above there on a higher time frame, I would immediately become I'd immediately jump into my long-term long positions. Essentially, that is what I'm looking for. I am bullish on Bitcoin long term, but that's long term. That can take years. That can take a very long time. So again, I want to distance myself from the moon boys and from the extremely bearish boys as well. Don't think that Bitcoin's gonna be like going down to fucking new lows today, but it's going to take some time. So again, as always, the market's a little bit of a waiting game, but we are seeing the next kind of box being ticked over, being that box being the 3,700 support being taken out. Again, next areas of support is 3630, but that's not the important one. 3580 is the important one. Or 3569 is the important one. So as long as that holds, you could maybe make the case for this thing turning around. But the second that the sky breaks is the second that I really do start looking towards these 3250 to 3300 areas right over here. So that's gonna do it for this morning stream. I'll be back. I might be back on later to do a live stream. I'm not sure just yet. If there's no price action, if there's not much to look at, I definitely won't be. If there is, I might be. Tomorrow definitely will be. Again, a lot of people have been asking me why I haven't been doing live streams. Well, mainly because I've been sick actually, and then I was at my girlfriend's parents' house, so it wasn't really like appropriate. Then just holiday season. So again, we'll be doing them soon. Tomorrow at the latest, but maybe tonight. We'll see. So again, I hope this video finds you well, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.